The land must be registered under the customer senior system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution.
Ground Zero to Ground Zero, a show that brings you in-depth discussion ranging from politics, health, finance, sports, and so much more. Ground Zero.
Yes, indeed, it is UBC Ground Zero, and I want to welcome you, dear listener, to this important edition of your UBC radio program. And this is UBC Ground Zero, and it is live on 5 radio stations that cover this program live. We're talking about UBC Radio in Kampala on 98.0 FM. In case you are in Arua, we are 97.4 FM, Lira 99.4 FM, and we're also live and clear on another radio station that is Butebo Radio that covers all eastern parts of this country. In case you're in Bale, we are 96.9 FM, Soroti 98.4 FM, and so other many places. We also live and clear on Western Nile Radio that is in the heart of Arua City. People in Zombo, there you get us live. Moyo and the surrounding districts, Western Nile, Karamoja, Teso, Choli, Lango. You can just get us live on UBC Radio Western Nile, just in the heart of Arua City. We are live on that radio station, 98.0 FM. We are also live and clear on Voice of Butebo. Those in Western Uganda, you can get us live on that very nice and popular radio station that side. In case you are in Kampala, we are also tuning live on Magic 100 FM that covers all central parts of this country. UBC Radio covers every part of this country. Those are 5 radio stations that cover UBC Ground Zero, and we're also streaming live. You just put UBC Ground Zero and you'll be part of the conversation. We always encourage you to share your perspectives or opinions on all our platforms. We always read out those messages, and if there are other concerns that we need to address, we always put them to our guests in our studios to make sure that all those concerns that you send, our dear listeners, those concerns are addressed effectively and there and then. Ampaire Amon Buteega is my name, and I want to welcome you, our dear listener, to this important edition and this very morning to the afternoon. UBC Ground Zero is always on Monday. It is always on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. That is on Saturday, every Saturday. And also the repeat of this program is always on Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on UBC Radio, and also on Monday on Voice of Butebo, same time. And today we're going to be talking about something very, very interesting, and we are going to look at what promises that are to be timely and thought-provoking discussion. And we have a very interesting topic that will turn our attention to the future of higher education in Uganda, under the theme or under our topic, the future of higher education, strengthening Uganda's universities for global relevance. We are looking at this conversation that comes at a significant moment for our country's education sector, especially when we talk about our universities and all those higher education institutions. We're talking about vocational institutions. We're talking anything to do with higher education, but again, so much concentrate on the universities because the experts that I have are so much into the universities. Just last week, Makerere University was ranked 23rd among the African's top universities, a recognition that has sparked renewed debate about the quality, the competitiveness, and also we look at the global standing of Uganda's institutions of the higher learning. While the ranking is a milestone that was celebrating because there are so many other universities that were in this, and there's those that were close to 100, 200, but us being 23rd is something that we can celebrate as well. But it also raises important questions. What does it take for Ugandan universities to compete on the global stage? Our graduates equipped with the skills needed in the increasing digital and knowledge-driven economy? But also another important question to put to you all Ugandans. How can government, academia, the private sector work together to strengthen research innovation which are, by the way, the pillars that these rankings always look at. The graduate employability. The other day I heard that when someone goes in other countries were carrying some academic papers in Uganda, sometimes they are taken back to school to do some short course that will be equivalent to that side. These are some of the issues that we shall be exploring this morning and the afternoon with a distinguished panel comprising the Vice Chancellor of Uganda Technology and Management University, being represented here by Engineer Kagwa Usma, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academic Affairs. You are most welcome to this important edition, sir.
Thank you very much. I'm Engineer Kasaga Usama, the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of Academics and Students Affairs. It is a pleasure and great morning to all the listeners at UBC. I'm so humbled to be here this morning. Thank you very much.
Interesting. We're also expecting to have our own Jobili Augustine, Secretary from Electoral Commission, who heads that political department, and Forum for Democratic Change, FDC, and also our own Magis Chirinju, who happens to be the communications officer coming from Government Citizen Interaction Center. Ampaire Amon Buteega is my name. We're looking at strengthening Uganda's higher education for global relevance. Let me start with you, sir, before we go into how we can strengthen our education systems and universities in this country. Many people would also love to know what is about UTAM, Uganda Universal Technology and Management University. What is about it? When was it established? What do you offer to the people of Uganda? And how do you position yourself when we talk about the education system, the education sector in Uganda, but also in the university rankings?
Okay.
You're most welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. UTAM University, that is Universal Technology and Management University. This university, it is located in Kungu, that is Matuga, for people who know that road, Bombo Road. And then we have branch, like our branch in Bugorobi. UTAM has its uniqueness in its setting. It started in 2013. That's when it got its license. And then we are moving on, and globally we have at least attracted many students. You'll find that we have close to different countries students studying with UTAM. The point at hand here, it is mainly that UTAM has powerful schools that it started with, and recently we have joined into the class of law, where we have done a lot, and now our school is going to make a year being already accredited, and it is moving well. So we have 4 schools which are moving on, and one of the schools that we have business school, which accommodates variety of courses, programs around business. And then we have the School of Technology, Engineering and Computing, which encompasses all those, and the artificial intelligence, as we already know that the world totally is changing globally at a higher rate. And that's why our school is too much competitive, and you'll find that when I get more time to talk deeper about the state of our higher education, you find that we have touched on many of the wanted courses which we try to change the perspective of our Ugandans. Then we have the School of Business, then we have the School of Education, where at least our education students, at least they come and then study different variety of courses from undergraduate up to the postgraduate. Graduate, we have different programs. I will be reading them. Then we have law. The beauty with law that we have, the School of Law, it has moved very fast that we have the postgraduate moving. The LLM, it is already there at UTAM. And then we have our different courses that we offer in certificate level, like administrative law. If you are there and then you want to take an administrative law for 3 months, you come. We provide it, and moreover, it is a blended one. Whether you are busy, we bring it in an accommodative way that wherever you are, you can learn. So UTAM has tried to move with the concept of competence-based, because it is what is trending globally. How do we move with it? We have changed our teaching system, and our teaching system is basically a branded one, that wherever you are, you can continue studying and you can be assessed without visiting the campus, and then you get what you want. And these are some of the things, according to the topic that which you introduced, that we are going to be looking at. How do we need to strengthen Ugandan's universities for the global ranking? And basically it is changing the way we even deliver. I thank you.
I am glad transforming the lives and also the education system and the sector in this country, and this is what is we are looking forward to achieve as a nation and the country, in that we remain competitive, not just at the national level, regional level, but also at the global level. Engineer Sam, I would love also to go direct into our topic of the day, and looking back, you must have seen the rankings where we are put at the 23rd position. South Africa given a number of universities in the first 5, and also Nairobi, Egypt, Egyptian universities also taking lead in the first. South Africa, just 2 countries dominating almost from 1 to 8 and 10, when Uganda seemed to be from at least 10 to 15, now is pushed back to 23rd position. Looking at the current state of higher education in Uganda, how, if you had put on your specs, what do you see?
Okay, thank you very much. That is a very nice question. And it calls for a lot of thinking, the current state of our education. You are going to see that there is at least a rapid change in our education, even on the ranking, where we are going to talk about it deeply, that what is sure affecting our ranking. But our education, you will find that recently the Minister of Education gave a task to all the universities that by 2027 we all need to be running competence-based, looking at the skilling, having a student-centered learning system. This is one of the challenges that we have been facing when we talk about the current state, that most of the things that we've been delivering to our learners, we have been making them too much students on the side of the lecturer, that you deliver up to from the beginning up to the end, where the concentration of understanding what this learner has got, that he can challenge the global market, it is not perfect enough. So you'll find it very challenging. So our public and private universities and tertiary institutions are trying to play a role, but we need to try and then diversify, so that everything comes out very well. When you look at what is hindering our ranking, basically it is research. The research repetition, the research output. The research output is affecting us a lot. That what we are giving out to the community, is it impactful, that it can make us to be among the ranked one? That state alone is affecting what we give to the communities. Are we giving out what the community wants, even if we are doing research? Sometimes you find that someone is just interested to come up with his own research, but the research must be based on what Ugandan setting, what we are facing, challenges that we are facing in an Ugandan setting. All that, it is also challenging why we may not be at that global setting. And once we try to change that perspective, and then we give more time to these facilitators to do a lot of investigative work to find out what these learners are going to learn about my topic. I also need to link it up with the industry rather than following up with the literature and then at the end it is not connected with the reality. We can say that there is stronger quality assurance if we talk about the state of our higher education. National Council of Higher Education has continuously strengthened the regulation. This is at least trying to give us something by accrediting our programs. You'll find that most of the programs run by all the universities are accredited. They follow a process, and that process helps us to do a lot of auditing. On our side are the universities, and then on the side of the regulators. Then the licensing of these universities is also helping to shape the quality of our kind of deliveries that we give out to our students. And again, what the state also, in regard to National Council, you'll find that they conduct a regular inspection, which also improves the quality of our education. Those regular inspections are always so good. I can report that we receive things that whenever you receive such kind of, follow-up feedback that you are performing well or you have the following gaps, that one helps you to, check you and then close the gaps. And that kind of quality, it is, at least I can report that it's strongly, National Council is doing it well. And then with the development of the competence-based, standards to change it completely, it is also trying to reform the way we are perceiving education in our African setting. We are challenged the way we traditionally teach our students. I will say that in 2026, basically, National Council has continuously engaged all universities to change all their curriculums, more so of the undergraduate, to focus on competence-based. And when they talk about competence-based, here they are focusing on more of skilling, that when this person goes out, is he ready? Are we not going to first retool him at the workstation? This is trying to connect the industries with the universities. And this is what has been missing if we are talking about the state of our higher education. There is a link between the industries and the university. Universities are delivering, and also the industries are trying to produce out the outputs, but they are not linked up with what we are giving them. And now with the introduction of competence-based, I hope that that gap will completely shift the way we see the deliverables that we have. And maybe it will bring a lot of innovation where our learners will be problem solvers than being students who always cram, have nice grades, but they cannot transform those grades into reality. And that is the challenge with what you have just said, positioning us in research. If you look at Makerere, 23rd, it is something that we need to look at deeply, more so the private sector. The private sector or the private institutions, for them, they are best challenge.
23rd in Africa, and
Yes.
639 among the global universities ranking.
Yes,
That is according to the US News and the World Report based on global universities ranking 2026-2027.
Wow, that is very wonderful. Because first of all, if you find that we are third recently, it had already changed the way they view their curriculums, and their curriculum, they were no longer tradition. And this is what I have just told you from Butebo. Immediately we
Can that be the reasons as to why we have been now ranked 23rd from 14th, 15, below 20?
From 14 to 23rd, this is already an indicator that there is a problem that we need to solve. And that's why National Council is coming in play, that it wants us to transform our education sector to focus more on the skilling. Because the moment you focus more on the skilling, the research outputs are going to come out. If you focus more on the traditional way that we are doing, people are not going to be innovative. This is an indicator that all university, if there is that gradual change in the ranking, we check ourselves. Are the budgets given enough in regard to research? Are the innovation that students come up with, are they relevant to the industry? You may find that they come up with innovation, but they are not put into reality. The innovation in other countries abroad, the world-class universities, you'll find that their innovation immediately they are put into play. This is a point where we have challenges. These are all the checklists that they base on to rank. They rank basing on the citations. You may find we have a challenge of citations in Africa or in Ugandan universities. Few of our publications are being cited. And that one we bring automatically, it will put us down. Okay? The funding, the connection between the reality, and the reality is that right now we are AI moving, kind of systems. Are we ready? Are we there? All those are some of the questions that we need to answer regarding that gradual change in the ranking.
I'm glad you also pointed out some of those issues, because I was going to put to you why Ugandan universities is really struggling in the global and regional rankings. What is other universities doing that we are doing different? And at least some of those, especially the funding you talked about, because I have seen so much of the complaints raising from different social media platforms, pointing out to that how would the students be able to do the research when they are not facilitated. And some of these universities, they are really facilitating their researchers. I'm glad you point out that very well. But also we are looking at the quality of the global competitive universities, or how best can we position our Ugandan, because it's not just about funding. If Makerere or government or even private sector like Otamu cannot really be able to facilitate all the researchers at the university. But I've also had universities do partnerships with different organizations, and that cannot limit us from achieving our goals. So how can these universities really position itself? The Makerere you're talking about is a national icon. I don't think that if they put out their their concepts, all these organizations will be able to really pattern up. Is it that there are people sleeping on the job? Is it that we have not positioned ourselves? Where is the missing link apart from the funding that you're talking about, Doctor?
Okay, thank you very much. How can we position ourselves? Number one, some of the things you have cited them. One of it is having collaborations with these outstanding global universities. When you do a lot of collaborations, first of all, you are going to have visiting professors coming in Ugandan universities, sharing the knowledge in the different perspective, not sharing it with our own perspective. So that, collaboration has changed many other universities. If you try to look at how the different outcoming universities, when you do much of the collaborations, first of all, you learn more of what they do. There is one point of benchmarking. When we are doing benchmarking, you'll find that even our curriculum, we benchmark within ourselves. And that one becomes a challenge. You cannot position yourself to the outstanding global universities. The way to position yourself, first of all, you need to benchmark with them. How are they doing it? If they are teaching BBA, Business Administration program, how are they delivering? What are the deliverables? You find that we have many course units we are delivering which are not, relevant to the global standing. So that is one of the challenge that you'll find that we do less of benchmarking. But again, you'll find that all that, what is triggering it is the funding. Because if you want to do benchmarking, they may not just give you access until you position yourself. You go and then you position. So that's where we call upon the government that through the Ministry of Education, can we use these avenues? Can the Ministry of Education invite different vice chancellors, and then we go for those type of benchmarking on that courtesy? That one also may help us to learn what different do they do it, and then we be in position to have it done the way it's supposed to do. Then the other thing that we need to look at to help us position ourselves very well, it is about the students' experience. Our students' experience also, it is wanting too much that we need to look at it. How is their students' experience vis-a-vis our student experience? That one alone, if we try to look at it, you will find that it will close the gap, and then we start positioning ourselves. That's why you find that many students who have done their bachelor's degrees from here and then they do their masters from abroad, there's a little bit of change, the way they perceive things, the way they do their courseworks, the way they deliver, that communication skill, the way they do it, that one also helps us that is one of the indicators. So here, the moment we remain traditional, the positioning of self-corroborate will be a challenge. The moment we transform that, and it's what the agenda of the Minister of Education is trying to give us to all the universities outside there, that position yourself, let the student be the centered, the focal person. Let the student deliver. I will give one example why we're trying to position ourselves and we call ourselves the MIT of Africa. The reason is that a student, if you're going to do your bachelor's degree from UTAM, you are required to do community engagement from first year, second year, third year, if you're going to run for 3 years. If it is a course for 4 years, you are required to have 4 placements that you have done before you graduate. And that is done in recess period. That one alone gives you exposure on how things are done. Whether you want to do it from abroad, we allow you to go and do it from there, and then we can monitor you both physically and virtually, because this is where we are transforming the digital kind of environment. So all that, if we position ourselves very well, you find it very, we shall find ourselves in that era that at least we are competing with them. Now, another kind of thing that we need to look at, the infrastructure. If you are teaching mass communication, I will give a quick example. Do you have a studio like UBC in your university? That one alone can affect you to position yourself. Whatever program that you're teaching, do you have the infrastructure to position you? Do you have the laptops, the computers that students can find it very easy to make that digital transformation very easy? So all those are becoming pressure on us. So to transform ourselves, we need, number one, to look at on how we have been delivering. And that's why we are changing to competence-based, the skilling, the innovation. And those innovation, if they come out, let us have a very unique budget to facilitate these people until, instead of having prototypes, if you go and try to move around the universities, you're going to find many prototypes being developed. But what is our interest? There is no patenting them. They go untalked about. All that cannot help us to position ourselves. To position ourselves, then we need to do that. The hybrid teaching, how many of the universities,
Which
collaborate?
is becoming a new normal.
Yes. But before, what triggered it? It was, COVID-19. It triggered universities to start thinking that direction. Before, few of the universities were ready. Even the parents were not ready to transform. Recently, before I rest this point, we are challenged with one parent. He was complaining that I always see my son at home. Is he studying? Yeah. And the son is very busy on the laptop, is putting on the microphones and everything in his room. But the parent was convinced that I'm not going to pay more.
When my son is always keeping here at home.
The son is always at home. He's on the computer, he's on the phone. And then he tells you that I'm doing exams. Nobody should enter my room. How visible is that? All that we need to try and then create different workshops at all levels, not only to the learners, but even to the
creating awareness.
Creating awareness to help us to position ourselves as one of the problems that we have.
So you think in the way to drive this hybrid learning, you also think that the communities and also other stakeholders, including, by the way, who are also very, very big pillar when we talk about education, because they are the ones paying the tuition most of the times. And if you see you have not changed their mindset, this would, in one way or the other, likely to affect especially the online learning. That's a good one. But also, Doctor, take you a little back. What does the global relevance mean for Ugandan university in the current, in the 2026 generation?
Number one, it is about trust. The global relevance, it is about trust. Do they have trust in your students? That one creates relevance. The moment there is trust in the output that we are giving out, it is giving that global relevance. The global relevance is very important, that it checks our quality assurance. What quality assurance are we doing? Are we inspecting, or we are looking at improving? The moment you check globally how people are doing it, it helps you to improve the quality assurance. That is one of the key which helps us to look at the global relevance. The global relevance is very important. You'll find that you change the way you perceive things, the way the students, because these students, first of all, when they move out, they are moving out to the communities, not only here. How many students, how many doctors of ours have moved out? You talked about it from the beginning, that our students move out and then they are given some pre-entry exams, or they are given a full course. This is one of the things that we need to check ourselves, that if we want to have relevance by our students, if you have any university, you have ever sent any student outside, and then there is no complaint, then that is automatically a check that we are positioning ourselves. So it is very important to position yourself as, African universities. The moment you position yourself, you'll find that our students are employable. Our students can be linked up quickly to the communities because they have got the skill that which is needed globally to compete. I think I've tried to give that highlight about why is it very important. And the reason why is it very important, look at the AI, the way it has changed. If you don't position yourself with that, then you're going to be left behind. So you find that it is very important to position yourself globally, because we are now a village, one village. World Cup is going on. You can see how the communication is. The moment you remain the way you are, things are changing. Look at the offices that now we sit in. Things have changed. They want reports within a day. So if you are not ready to deliver, and what is helping you to deliver that change which has come to play, all those are very important to work on.
Interesting. But also, before we take a break, Doctor, I would also love to understand why most of the times the private universities have not been able to stand up and be seen. When we talk about global rankings and the best performing universities, we always talk about public universities. University of Cape Town, we talk about Makerere University, we talk about other universities. Those, but out of 10, one
the funds, and that one becomes a challenge. Then also the rates given by private universities vis-a-vis the private one. The rates of like tuition, you'll find that there's a lot of waiver in private universities compared to in public universities compared to private universities, because you are trying to close the gaps so that you can pay well the facilitators, so that they are contented to do the outputs that you want. That is already a challenge. Another challenge, why that you find that sometimes to position yourself, the infrastructure is a key. And here when we talk about the infrastructure, it is not about buildings. It is about the laboratories, the libraries. Are they first class? Are they attracting? Because now even the libraries that we are talking about, they are no longer, sitting libraries. Here we're talking about e-libraries, that wherever you want, you can get a book. But it involves in a lot of funding to have them. We have different softwares which are needed to check the originalities of the work, the turn-in. All that requires a lot of money, because you need to subscribe, annually. Those challenges, they bring a lot of gaps. And then you find that talking about private and then public, at least with the public, why we may say that they talk about public, at least they have a vote in the parliament. They have a vote in the government. Now us, the private, you only try to work within our board of trustees, helping to see that you move the grants, and then others. You'll find that vis-a-vis the public and then private, few grants are got. That mutual trust, even with globally, it is something that we need to work on. Another challenge that I may talk about before I rest that point is about the process that you go through to have your programs accredited. Now it is becoming too expensive. You'll find that a program may cost you 5 million, just one program, to be accredited. That one alone, it is, grilling the budget. So all that, you'll find that it's rotating about the funding and the willingness to change to that. Thank you very much.
Interesting. Our dear listener, you can as well participate or share your perspectives on UBC radios and UBC Ground Zero and 776-511-426. I'm taking a very short break, and when I return, I'll be reading out your messages and picking your calls on what you think can be done to strengthen Ugandan universities to make sure that we position ourselves and stand for global relevance. This comes after the some of the rankings that last week, where our own Makerere University was ranked 23rd, and we are looking at how best we can also position ourselves at least we come in the best 10. This is according to the rankings of the universities by the US News and the Global Report, Best Global Universities Ranking 2026-2027. Looking at that, where Cape Town in South Africa ranked the first in Africa, and also it has come down to 122 globally when we're still at 639 globally. This is something that is a lesson to all of us, but also a lesson to all the institutions, especially when we talk about higher institutions of learning, but also University of Cairo University in Egypt was the second position, and so many other universities. You need to get that report and be able to follow this kind of story. I'm taking a very short break and I'm returning in just a bit. I pray you don't go away. This is UBC Ground Zero.
This is Ground Zero. Stay tuned. We shall be right back. It's hot.
We passed it. We didn't know exactly what the problem was on the ground. There is no pretending about the effect of this thing. There's no pretending about it. Nobody showed. It's a problem.
It's balanced.
This is not the stage at which you start planning to tax a commodity like coffee, especially from down there.
It's intellectually engaging.
The Constitution provides that the land must be registered under the customer tenure system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution.
Ground Zero, live and syndicated on your public and national broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
This is UBC Radio. Tune in for news.
At UBC Radio, we bring you Uganda's latest news and information.
Focus on Parliament.
What we need to do, the Prime Minister must give us the position before we finalize with the budgeting process.
Enjoy sports. The environment. Politics.
The mission we have is socio-economic transformation.
Health. Entertainment. Updates in education. On the farm. Keep tuned into UBC Radio, inspiring Uganda.
Poverty in your life is just about to die. The Parish Development Model, PDM, is here to transform your life.
Now me, Mariza, a villager with one goat. How can I even benefit from this so-called PDM?
Mariza.
What, neighbor?
Mariza, stop complaining. I have overheard you complaining about the Parish Development Model money. But what you need to know, everyone who earns below 1 million shilling per year like you can benefit from PDM.
Tell me how.
What you need to do is simply join an enterprise group of other goat keepers in our village. Then our LC chairperson, the one you know, will guide you on how to register your enterprise. Our vegetable growing group is already registered.
Really?
Yes.
Let me do it now.
Just do it now.
Thanks, neighbor, for opening my eyes about PDM.
You're welcome.
Let me even hurry and go to the chairman. Where are my shoes?
You hurry now. The Parish Development Model is an initiative of the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform the lives of all Ugandans for the better. PDM, My Parish, My Development, My Life. UBC Radios, inspiring Uganda.
I can't miss my favorite program. I need to know. I heard there is an Ebola outbreak.
Atoti! Ebola outbreak in Uganda. The confirmed.
Who is that? I hear someone calling out my name.
Atoti! I am back! Where are you, my brother? I am back!
What is that? Am I dreaming? No, wait. That sounds like Dodi.
Atoti, it is me, Dodi. I am back, man. Give me a hug. It's been very long.
Stop! Aren't you aware about the Ebola outbreak in the country? Nobody contact. Anyway, welcome back, my son. It is good you are back home, but first wash your hands there. That is a jerrycan with soap. I'll pour water for you. My children, with this Ebola, love and care is in our hands. To protect ourselves, our dear ones, and the country from the spread of Ebola, we must avoid any direct body contacts like shaking of hands, hugging, and any other body touches.
But Auntie, really? You have prevented me from hugging my own brother. after all this long. But this Ebola, I hear it's a dangerous disease with symptoms of severe headache, fever, muscle pain, fatigue, weakness, rash with spots of blood under the skin, loss of appetite, hiccups, red or bloodshot eyes, bleeding or bruises, and can kill in 21 days if it is not treated.
Yes, my children. It is my duty to protect all of us against this Ebola. Don't you know Ebola spreads through body fluids, including the invisible sweat? It is a dangerous viral infection with no known treatment.
Now I know why grandfather named you Sharp. Indeed, you are a very sharp woman.
Ugandans, let's defeat the Ebola virus by avoiding body contact, washing our hands with soap and clean water, or use sanitizer regularly, avoiding overcrowded places, and immediately isolate and report any suspected cases to the nearest health facility.
The Ministry of Health has reported cases of suspected Ebola illness in the country. Ebola is a serious and highly infectious disease that spreads through direct contact with bodily fluids of an infected person or contaminated surfaces. Ebola begins with symptoms such as sudden fever, fatigue, headache, and muscle pain, which progresses into vomiting, diarrhea, and in severe cases, internal or external bleeding. Prevention is our greatest defense. Let's be vigilant by washing hands regularly with soap and clean water, avoid physical body contact with anyone or unnecessary touching of surfaces, lines from the health authorities at all times, and report any suspected cases of Ebola to the nearest health facilities or contact the Ministry of Health through official channels. Early reporting saves lives. Treatment is more effective when care is sought earlier. Uganda has successfully contained Ebola before, and with vigilance, cooperation, and responsible behavior, we can do so again. Protect yourself, protect your family, protect your community, and protect your country. Keep tuned to UBC for more updates on Ebola. UBC, inspiring Uganda.
It's hot.
We passed it. We didn't know exactly what the problem was on the ground. There is no pretending about the effect of this thing. There's no pretending about it. Nobody showed. It's a problem.
It's balanced.
This is not the stage at which you start planning to tax a commodity like coffee, especially from down there.
It's intellectually engaging.
The Constitution provides that the land must be registered under the customary tenure system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution.
Ground Zero, live and syndicated on your public and national broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda. Welcome back. Ground Zero Season 2 continues.
Indeed, that very short break. This is Ampaire, Amon, Buteega, and we are on UBC radios, and this is UBC Ground Zero. We are talking about strengthening Ugandan universities for global relevance, and we are glad that you are with us on the other side of radio, and we have a privilege and honor to have Engineer Kasaga Usma, is the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, coming from Universal Technology and Management University. Many you call it UTAM. And we are also live on 5 radio stations that cover this program. But to participate in this program, you call on 776-511-426. You can keep your messages and calls coming in on 0776-511-426. It is the right time now you share your views. I can see a number of messages already coming in, but you can as well call and share your opinions. We are on UBC Radio 98.0 FM. We are on UBC Butebo 96.9, 99.4, and 98.4 FM. We are also live and clear on UBC Western Nile. That is a radio station based in Arua City there on 98.0 FM. And we're also live and clear on Magic 100 FM, but also on Voice of Ondbujo. And at the same time, the repeat of this program is always on Sunday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. All right, we still have so many feedbacks. If I can take time to read some of the feedback that we have from the other side of radio, from you, the listeners. And someone says, I'm Jimma. Universities are increasingly expected to solve Uganda's problems, not just produce graduates, my concern to Doctor is how should Ugandan universities redefine their role in the national development? Okay, thank you, Jimmy. There, Amon, thank you for the program. I am Michael Magembe. My concern is academic freedom is often described as the backbone of a strong university. How important is it in producing quality research and independent thinking? Okay, thank you so very much. Thank you for the program, UBC. I'm Catherine, listening in from Entebbe. Many universities are just introducing new programs every year and every semester, but how do these institutions ensure that these courses remain is the course they always want to introduce? Thank you, people of Entebbe there. Thank you, Amon, for bringing the Doctor in your studios. University leadership today goes beyond managing campuses. What qualities should define a modern vice chancellor and a rapidly changing world? We now need leaders. With experience, not with connections. Okay, I think he's concerned about people who manage campuses. He says that most of the problem is that we put leaders there to manage these institutions based on their connections, not based on their experiences. All right, thank you so very much. How can universities strengthen mentorship so that students graduate? How can universities strengthen mentorship so that students graduate not only with qualifications but also with character, leadership skills, and professional ethics? Thank you. We are tuning in here in Mbale. I wish you also put your names, and people of Mbale, we love you so very much. And I know Butebo Radio reaches there very much, and also UBC radios. We are here to serve you, the people of Uganda. Amokelo, thank you for the program. UBC, Uganda's universities are enrolling more students than ever before. Can expansion happen without compromising academic standards? Because they are minding more about the numbers rather than the quality. All universities are becoming like politicians. Okay, thank you, Okelo, for sharing your views. I am putting all these questions to the Vice Chancellor to address all this. But what are you also saying? You can call on 776-511-426. What do you say? You're live on UBC Radio.
Good morning, Amon. Good morning, Dr. Juma calling from Buteega.
Very good morning to you.
Thank you very much for serving the nation. My take on this, let me first give flowers to the administrations of all various universities in Uganda. And I'm going to pick where the negative areas exist. I feel bad if a university student found dead either in a hostel or in their rental rooms where they pursue their living. I feel bad when I'm coming from Bugolo at late hours at 9 and they get campus girl lining the roadside waiting for this. Will understand what I mean. And yet, the campus girl, they are, I don't know, pursuing. Because you can't tell me during daytime you are studying, during night hours you are doing such engagement into evil acts. You, the administrators of the campuses, how best would you help this society to bring leaders, future leaders, whose their backgrounds are very clear? It tortures me mentally sometimes when I think about it. And I give flowers to some university students who does things like innovation, like how to manufacture male or female condoms to protect these people or the nation against HIV or STDs. Those students, I give them flowers. And sometimes when the projects come, they're the very one who moves with the loudspeaker on the van sensitizing, like maybe when there is a safe circumcision within some health centers, the designated health centers. Those are the things we want to embrace. You get the point. Finally, how students run politics. I'm saying it's becoming common within these Makerere, mostly Makerere and Chambo. Picking parties of their choices and the home states from background where they're coming from might be affiliated to the party where these students have chosen. Now, we, the parents, we should not intimidate our children of how to choose what is good for what they want to desire. Are we together, Amon?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, because at the end of the day, your child has reached to a level of university. That would mean that he or she can make a self-decision. We should not force them to like the party of the color we affiliated to. That one also take my mind away. So with the help of doctor, how best are you helping your students such that they can know how to become a leader of the dignity, a leader with the good character, a leader with a nice background. I thank you so much. I wish Amon to organize again. You come again as far as UBC is concerned. We thank you and we thank you again.
Thank you so very much, sir, for being part of us from the other side of radio and also for sharing the views on UBC Ground Zero. All right. For those and more questions, you can start from there addressing some of these concerns. You can see some Ugandans are already concerned about the education system in this country.
Okay, thank you very much. And thank you very much, the listeners. Surely they were following up. We have a big problem and we need to address it together. That's why you asked a very important question: how do we position ourselves globally? The concern here, we start with my brother, the last one, James. He talked about a very interesting thing, and that is about the student themselves, how they are positioning themselves. One of the things which is lacking in most of the universities, where I want to call upon all my sister universities, the mentorship programs are limited. You will find that, yes, a student enters and then completes. But do we have serious mentorship programs that at the beginning, within the classes, up to the last dot that this student is moving out of the university, is he mentored? So you'll find that these students go out, they don't have mentors, they are not inspired by any, and even if they are supposed to get inspiration from us, we are also diverting the way we do things. It is not giving the right portrayed image. So one of the key things that we need to check, it is the students' well-being. The students' affair offices, they need to work aggressively to, that when we try to reduce students' issues in regard to the mental illness. You'll find that right now we are not aware that the students that we are teaching have problems. And that's why you can find a school still caning. But the person you are caning maybe at night was troubled by the fighting mother and the father at home. All those connections. When a student comes late to your lecture, what moment do you take to listen to that student before you chase him away? We have those students that he's talking about, even you find them on the street. We have not done our due diligence to find out why. When you are teaching as a lecturer outside there, and you say student dozing, do you take it serious that it is very early in the morning? You are teaching a lecture of maybe for 2 hours, and this student just entered 5 minutes and within 2 minutes is dozing. Can you take up that initiative? There is that limited touch between your learners. Even if you are teaching them online, you can feel with these students. So there is need also to look at the support from the peer network the peer support network needs to be improved, because many students have financial issues and then they are at the university. Mr. Amon, there is one of the problem with our students not even positioning themselves. When a student comes from, secondary level to university level, some of them, they feel that we have totally changed. I'm no longer a student. I'm no longer advised to. So you find that this student goes through the 3 years course, getting only the courseworks and the marks, and he has not bonded with the students, has not created what they call social network. It's not about the finance. There are many students who have entered the university without the fundings from their parents, and they get it within the university. Why? Because they have positioned themselves. And then they move out, that by the time he graduates, he has lawyers, he has doctors, he has police people to help him in his transition. This one calls upon that any student listening, try to create a very connected network. Have a better network. From that, you are going to find a lot of filters, and those filters, they will help you to connect you to the right citizens outside there. That's why some of the students from the poor backgrounds, they move aggressively outside, and then you find them champions. Why? They have known themselves, and then they go closer to people who will connect them to the world of work, and then you find them globally known. Why? They know their problem. Another challenge that we have with our students that we need to change, when you are at the university, connect with the global settings. Do you attend workshops? Do you attend conferences? How many of you, because the government gives many conferences going on, you'll find that this weekend there are many conferences. I always give it to my student that I give them 4 things, that by the time you graduate, you need to have 4 things. One of it, do you have a driving permit? Can you drive? That is a skill. But you'll find that you have not connected. If you right now you go to Tanzania or to Kenya, and then they say that the first opportunity that you're going to get, you're going to be the CEO of this company, and they give you the car, no driver, and then you lose the job. But do you have a driving permit? Do you have a passport? That right now, if UBC calls you that we have given you an opportunity, can you go? If you are at the university and then...
You represent the institution.
Can you represent the institution? Okay? If right now your vice chancellor or the chairman board chooses one of the students that you have outperformed the others, and I'm giving you an opportunity to go out, will you go? Okay? Then the third thing that I always tell my student, do you have an updated CV? Right now, is it online?
If someone calls you now,
do you have it? That is one of the things which is linking us to be globally known. Do you have a website talking about you, even if it is a 1 page? Because nowadays things have changed. It is AI. You just feed it, and then it gives you that output. Put it outside there. People get to know about your strengths and weaknesses quickly, and then they will connect you to the right position. Many people have got opportunities without competition, but because of, repetitiveness online, that they see you, okay? And the last thing that I always tell them, it is the workshops and conferences. How many of them have you attended within a year? When you attend them, you connect with very important people. And then you won't find those students that you talked about who are on street selling themselves, because they have not branded themselves. What brand do you have if you are doing mass communication? How frequent do you even visit around radios, even if it is a community radio? Do you go and then engage the citizens? So let's change ourselves. The moment we change ourselves, we are going to find ourselves in the right position, and we shall globally position ourselves, and then we become so competitive.
Okay, that is very good, and I want to believe that Juma, you got your concern being addressed here by the doctor. Okay, we continue with so many messages coming in. Ugandan universities. Someone pointed out that you are looking at the numbers more than what you put out there. That you are like politicians these days. How true or false is that?
Wow, that concern has, it is true that we want the numbers, and the reasons are there. And among the reasons that I gave you, that these numbers helps us to grow. Without numbers, you won't grow. Now, the question at hand, when you have those numbers, are they going to be transformable into something productive? And this is what we are working on, that we want the numbers so that they can transform. And when we get the numbers, it helps us to connect with them within. Because when this student, if you are teaching one student in a course, or even 5 students in a course, it is not very easy statically to get the output. That surely you may resolve that all these students, they don't understand this course. But if you have 50 students in a class, you will be convinced that one of them will help another one to maneuver. And that's why we are going into competence-based, that they do work in clusters. And things have changed. The numbers is no longer an issue. You go and look at our university in South Africa. These best ranking universities, they base on the numbers they have. That how many do you have? Makerere, we have it until it has the numbers, then it can, also position yourself. So numbers are critical. But the issue, we need to change the numbers into the global setting. And how do we change them? It is to inspire them and transform them and give them the right content. Someone talked about that we keep on changing the courses, we keep on,
According to the trends, what comes up is tomorrow morning you find a university has developed a course and you're trying to jump on everything that comes up.
Yes.
Sometimes compromises with the quality that you send out.
It is true, but most of the time that's why National Council tells us before you submit that course, it goes through a gradual or a very organized process. Have you benchmarked? Is it relevant? And that's why you find that some universities are dropping some courses, and some universities are even getting new courses. The reason of having new courses, which are totally emerging, you can see it right now. We are AI. You go to the industries. The industries are introducing new products on a daily basis. And now the universities are always lagging behind. The only way to position ourselves may be also to advise other universities, not to introduce courses, programs, rather to introduce content within our program, to introduce new course units within our programs, but the program remains stand alone. Right now we have AI, the digital transformation. You just include AI in all your programs. That one you have facilitated it. Or to have more short courses, and that one will bridge the gap. So that's the way I can, handle it or advise my other sister university, because that's the way we are doing it at UTAM. That rather than introducing a new course, we rather have a 3-month certificate, like we have a certificate in administrative law, just to cover up that gap, that whoever wants it, come and do it, and then you transform. We have like a certificate in legal writing and drafting. It is just a certificate for a certain duration, not a full-fledged program to come. Now we have even developed a certificate for artificial intelligence for lawyers, because this is where things are. Why cases delay. Now we use artificial intelligence, and then you have people's cases dealt with within a second. So we addressing it that one. This is where I'm giving maybe an encouragement to the other universities. If the citizens are seeing it as a problem, can we just revise our curriculums? And this is what we are doing. And this is what even National Council is always advising us to do.
There is a growing concern, Doctor, that most of the graduates leave university with just degrees but limited critical thinking, problem-solving skills. In our education system, rewarding memorization more than the innovation. Someone can't do anything and happens to be a graduate with a diploma, with a degree, with masters, but they can't even do anything. They can't even do their own CV that you talked about. Is this put on the individuals, or we should also attribute it to the universities themselves? This is the system that has nurtured these products.
Wow.
And also those countries that you talked about where they give pre-entry examinations but also other short courses to equate to their system. They are sometimes right, because when we send these products out there, they just go with papers, but they have no basic skills to prove that the papers are indeed theirs.
Yes, it is very interesting. Yes, we have a big problem that we need to address, and we are sure addressing it. And that's why you can see that the agenda right now in Uganda, we already have competence-based at a lower level. Now we need competence-based at higher level. Competence-based has been already there for years. You'll discover that many other courses, they don't need even to be reformed. Like in medicine, like in law, these are already, they are already practicing. Then you'll find even in mass communication, that's where I talked about, if you are to introduce mass communication in your university, link it up to the reality or be closer to studios if you are in a place where the studios can be accessible. So you'll find one of the challenge, it is about these students moving out with, only memorization. We are putting much emphasis on examination than the continuous, assessment. Rather, we focus so much on summative assessment that this student, when I give him a paper out of 100 and he gets 70, he has passed. No. How much critical thinking has he done? How much problem solving has he done? How much projects have we done? You'll find that some of the exams at my university, you'll find that about projects. You only present a project, they assess you, and then you get your marks, and then you pass. That one alone, at least it builds in a student to be a well, staged student. Okay? So if you are talking about lawyers, has that student got an opportunity to go in a moot court? Has he got that opportunity? All that brings a student to move out that he cannot be, is not a grounded student. So to avoid that, let us focus on the skilling of these students. Let us focus on these students, transforming them to the reality. And this one brings us to one of the kind question that I want to give to the community and then to our industries. Can this also industry come to the institutions? At least National Council has done it, that on the annual basis we always have, exhibition where the industries and the universities go into one place to address some key concern from National Council. But can we do it on the regular basis? Even the industries, after spotting that these students are coming from this university, can we visit this university and then we tell them what is happening? Then also the university, can we try to build on the alumni networks to find out, do our students, if after completing and they move out, are they connected to the reality? Are they employable? You find that few of them are employable. Then it will answer the question that these students go out with only memorization and they cannot transform the reality that we have in our industries.
Can that be the same reasons to explain why we have graduates but all the work is done by outsiders. I'm seeing most of the roads when Ugandans, when we have other shows, people have always pointed this concern that we have engineers in Uganda, but if you are to see 90% of our roads are being managed by Chinese and others. If you are to see in our hospitals being managed, if we needed any experts, people would think about other countries. The other day we saw Cubans coming here to help us when we had a medical crisis, and also we talk about so many professionals. But when we talk about professionals, we have them in the country, and Ugandan universities produce these graduates and professionals, but we are not seeing them on ground, and one wonders how can we redefine our role in the national development.
I talked about it in my preamble that one of the weak spots that we have as Ugandans that we need to try and change, it is about trust. We have produced good students, but these students, when they go to the industries, are not positioned to the right, places, or are not given opportunity. You'll find that students, the technical know-how, all that challenges this student who has done a lot, who has concentrated a lot and has gained the skill. Then that one alone is affecting our students, that if we put trust, you'll find that many students of ours have gone abroad and they have outperformed. They have performed better. Okay, but the reason is, can we build the trust with our people? The engineers that you are talking about, they are there, but can we trust them? And when they are trusted, now they have one weakness.
Can they deliver?
They can deliver. The only worst point of it is about the funds. Why do we opt always for maybe the outside companies? Because they already have established funding, so it becomes very easy for them to stage here. I'm looking at a student who has done engineering from any of our universities, and then he needs to start up his company. What process he goes through? It is too long. But can we have a funding that we have these students that after that they can be given those opportunities? They can deliver, and we have delivered. But the issue is, number one, it is about the trust, that the industries are not trusting us. I will give another example, that if you look at the softwares, there are many softwares being developed by Ugandans. But when someone introduces you and then tells you that this is developed by an Ugandan, you sit back. Even the universities themselves, you find that they won't, adopt theirs. And then he goes to China, he goes to India, and then brings a software and he customizes it. Then automatically that is a challenge. So we need to ask ourselves to all levels, at the public universities, private university, even the government, and then the other stakeholders. Do you have the trust within your own people that you work with? And that's why you find that most of us are Ugandans. Look at what is happening right now. But the issue, it is about trust. Before you trust anybody out, first trust your own and build him with that capacity. So we need to create that environment so that when they are done, at least they are employable.
I'm also looking at many international students tend to contribute significantly to the repetition, but also I'm looking at the finances that you're talking about, which universities need to be able to facilitate their activities. And many of the universities worldwide are also supported by the international students. I am also told that you always charge them differently from the nationals, and that also can increase your repetition, but also finances. But how or what should Ugandan universities do to become a preferred destination for students from across Africa, in that we can attract the dollars to come here?
I want to tell you that we are doing it, And you'll find that when we talk about engineers, doctors, we are doing it well. We just need to keep on having that consistency. They think it is about branding. You have many universities which are performing, but they have not branded themselves. How do you brand yourself? You need to brand yourself. Right now we are moving on. Everything it is global. It is on social media. AI has changed. But have we branded our students? If we talk about branding them, that we do we even associate with those universities and we go and do competition with them or compete with ourselves? That one alone brings an issue that there is less sometimes or not good. The reason why we charge them highly because of even the process we go through to have them here. First of all, they need to have study pass for that student to be protected. His accommodation is a little bit different because he has come in a different country. And again, why do you need to handle him differently? Most of the time when it comes to getting even the documents, you need to work on it differently. And even from the country they are coming from, if you put yourself less, then they will never trust you. There is that issue which is very important. And that's why you find that we address our fees in dollars to attract them. And it becomes very easy for them even to pay. Because
it's a marketing strategy.
It is a marketing strategy. So ideally, we are attracting international. I will give one example. At the time we are teaching students who go abroad, who the Cheyo students. After here they are struggled, they are looking for tuition, they have not got it, then they go to our Arab countries. We are teaching them from there. We are saying, you have an opportunity here. For the 2 years you are going to spend there, please, you have a course that you can do. You do your exams, as long as we know your timing, do it from wherever you are. The classes are already recorded. You can find them online and then interact with the facilitator. So all that has brought is that internalization is coming in play, that at least people are globally getting us. So the only way that we need to work on it is to rebrand ourselves. Let us brand. Brand is very important.
But also, we had a concern from, you talked about it, but also I'm looking at the position. You talked about it at an individual level. Juma raised a serious concern about the students at the universities and how they are really treating themselves. Every university graduate drunk and is found on the road. But also we also understand that there are a serious concern that is coming up, and this is mental health among university students, which has become a growing concern. You addressed it on an individual level, but also what is the responsibility that universities have beyond the academic instruction to help their students really live a better life?
Okay, thank you very much. That one, first of all, to talk about it, we need to create more workshops to go out of the classes. Can we invite the student to workshops of mentorship? Can we develop programs that will help the student out of the class, that will help the student to address such issues like those street students selling themselves on the street, drinking all the time at the university, because some of them, they think it is a culture. When I'm at the university, I have unprotected sex at all the time that I want. So there's that fun that they get. So we need to have more mentorship programs as the universities to help them cover up that problem that they always get as students. Then the other thing which is also very important to address, that most of us also, we need retooling as instructors. Some of us, you come with your degree, but you have not got the skills of, teaching the student. The moment you get it, it will help you very much to align to the learners that you are teaching. That you are not only supposed to be teaching them, delivering to them, you are supposed to transform them into leadership, into recognizable citizens, that when you see something happening to this student, try to change them. So we encourage workshops at, government level, at institutional level. Let us have many workshops to improve the students' career building.
Interesting. We're coming close to end of our discussion, but so many concerns tend to be coming in, and especially when it comes to education system. Looking at the higher education system and landscape, Doctor, what is one misconception about our universities that you can use this very platform and this time to take and want you to correct it?
You can repeat for me?
I am looking at some of the misconceptions about the education system in this country that you can use this very platform to correct such misconceptions about Uganda, and when we talk about the education landscape or system.
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, perception which we need to change. Yes, I agree that most of us have been delivering traditions, deliverables to our students. And that one has brought that negativity. But I want to tell you, the government has done a lot. We have changed from, when they change the young ones, then up becomes very easy. The point here at hand, which I want to inform the public, that the universities have transformed. Now it is upon us, the parents who are giving us these learners, and even the learners themselves, to accept to that change. That change, if we don't accept it, we are not going to go out of that mess. But the change has already come. We are now talking about competence-based, and whenever you talk about competence-based, you're talking about output-based. That which output are we giving out? So we are no longer looking at exam. And many universities have adopted that. I will just give an example, like a mass comm student. You'll find that most of the assessments are based on what you can deliver. Do you have a good communication skill? Can you transform messages properly? The perception that people are having outside there, it is no longer the case. But now the point, it is the ball goes back to the student themselves, goes back to the parents themselves, that are you ready? That this change that for us we are going through, we are taking your student to, are you ready to accept? Because the moment you are not ready to accept, then the industry won't accept your students, won't accept it won't accept us. So we need to be ready to transform. And how do you transform? You need to be a problem thinker, a problem solver. You are given an issue. If it is about marketing, do the real marketing. Before I wind up with this point, this one is also something very important and interesting. The people who are going to teach competence-based, some of them have not gone through competence-based. And this is where, for us at UTAM, we have workshops to retool ourselves. So if we don't retool even our own, the instructors, we are going to find it very challenging for us to reform ideally. So competence-based has come in. AI integration is very important. These are some of the key reforms that we need also to put in play if we want to transform our university setting. Thank you very much.
Okay, if you had the opportunity to redesign Uganda's university system from scratch, what would be your first major change you would introduce in our education system? What are your prayers that you need in our education system?
Number one, for me, what I think about it is attitude. That if I'm to be given that opportunity, it is to look at one of the killing aspects that you can change everything, but you may not change the people's attitude. The attitude is killing the education system. I will give a clear example here that we have gone online, blended learning. People's attitude, they think someone who has got a degree in a blended learning or online, it is not a degree. Now people are doing PhDs from different countries without moving from their families. Blended with your family, bonded with your family, and then at the same time you are adding something very resourceful on you. So one of the things that I may try to look at, it is the attitude building, and then it will go into the research, the innovation, and then the aspect of having entrepreneurship in all the courses that we are doing, so that our student, when he moves out, he does not miss out wherever, whether it is getting a job or creating it himself. But attitude, it is a key killer to everything.
Doctor, as we also come close to our discussion, I would love you to take some minutes to communicate to different stakeholders. I want a piece of advice to the students who are undergoing school, especially in our higher education or universities. What would you be your concern as they ready themselves to get out to the market? And those who have also finished or graduated. I have a number of universities graduated since end of last year and also early this year.
Okay, thank you very much. A very interesting discussion this morning. I will start with the universities before I go to the students. First of all, to the universities, I just call upon that we need to have continuous review of our curriculums. It will help us to embrace the technology, strengthen the quality assurance. This is very important about quality assurance, that we need to improve the standards, support the staff development, let the staff grow. I want to here take this opportunity to thank Professor Baria Mleba. Has let his staff grow. Many of the staff have been enrolled to different programs, and that career building, it is very important. Then universities first try to focus on the research and entrepreneurship, that the student, when he moves out before 3 years, has he planted some trees somewhere? Has he connected with different people? Does he have something so that he can have something to start with? The lecturers, please adopt the learner-centered teaching. Let learners be the focal point. Integrate technology efficiently, okay, and try to encourage these learners to do research so that you have a lot of publication. Mentorship is the key to our students, and then engage with industry to keep your learning experience very relevant. Go to the industries, the lecturers. Don't just sit. If you are teaching networks, have you visited MTN? Have you gone there? Not only just talking about it, how they are doing networks, but have you gone there? Have you visited UBC if you are teaching mass communication to know how they are doing things? This one will help you to communicate the reality than the theory. To our dear students who are outside there, who have gone back to school, who are at the universities, we can change your attitude and see things the right way. Try to create the proper social network, the network which is worth to improve you after your academics, to improve you within your academics. That is what they call wealth. Wealth is not about money, it is about the social capital. Create that powerful social capital and you will be a champion to all levels. So take your ownership in learning. It is you, nobody else, but it is you. develop digital and entrepreneurship skills very well so that you can change the way people perceive you, and always use AI technology in a reasonable way, because it is there and it is our responsibility now to understand, and always seek practical experience. Go out. Why do you wait to the lecturer to tell you to go and visit UBS studio? You knock. I have come to be mentored by you. You are an inspiration to you, brother Amon. That kind of change, it will change you. By the time you are done, you are already employable. So you can be employable, and that's why they ask for the 3 years of experience. They're asking for the years that you've been at the university. Where have you developed the experience? Not after the university. To our dear private sector, partner with the universities,
especially the owners of these institutions and leaders.
Yes, let us partner with these leaders. Let us work with them. For sure, I have appreciated the Professor Balia is working with his leaders at all time to improve the way they perceive things, the way they do things. So let's work with these people so that they are convinced to deliver the right things. So that's what I can say.
And the government?
The government, our dear government, surely we believe in you, and that's why we have changed a lot in everything. But give us those avenues where our students can do research. Try to give those opportunities to infrastructures where we need, and try to ease the processes of even licensing these universities. And always we appreciate that regular, inspection. It will improve us, but we want you to always invite us so that we can improve, and we benchmark with those global, trading universities. Give us that avenue. And then we go, because we may not have enough fund to go. But benchmarking is a key, our dear government, to improve our universities, and then we get the best out of them.
Doctor, I want one stakeholder, very significant when we talk about the education system in this country. He had already had comments about this stakeholder, but one piece of advice to him or her, and this is the parent, who is our number one sponsor to the private and public universities in this country.
Wow, thank you very much. The parent outside there, this is very pertinent and then very important. We kindly request, support our learners. Be there for them. Don't just send them. Be part of them. I have seen it at the university level, where a parent leaves a student to complete his 3 years without knowing how his stand is, without checking with the leaders whether my student is even attending. Let us be there for them. Let us support them mentally. That's where many students are getting issues, because you are not there to support them. They are still your kids. Give them the support they need mentally, then give them the support they need physically, they give them the support they need financially, and then we shall get the better citizen. The attitude of change is there. Please change yourself, and then we shall get the best. We shall enjoy the world that we need for tomorrow.
Thank you so very much, Doctor. Having time to discuss all this with you has been a big privilege. But finally, 20 years from now, what would you like people to say about the legacy of today's universities?
An innovative university, which innovates, which is a problem-solving university to the problems that we are facing. I'm praying to see, let us change the leadership styles that we have, to accept people who have that capacity that we need to change our world to the global relevance.
Your parting shots, sir, to the listener who has been part of us from the time we started, but also to the UTAM family and fraternity.
Wow, thank you very much, the Board of Director, Professor Balia Mleba, for giving me this opportunity, because he chose that I come here, and then you accepted me to come. I want to thank our parents who have given us students at UTAM. UTAM is available, and we will always help you to transit your students. We are available to our website, www.utam.ac.ug. The application are going on. And I want to thank our dear listeners, for sure, you have been attentive, and I hope the hope that we have given you can change. I hope that we have given to the government, we change the hope we have given to the parents, and then to even ourselves. We shall change a lot. And I want to thank my family and my wife asking me, who am I, to be here. Thank you very much.
Indeed, we also take this big privilege to thank you, Doctor, for making time of Makerere University, who was supposed to be with us, but has some engagement, I think, outside the country. But we thank him so very much, and also appreciate his effort to transform the education system in this country, and also for making Utamu University a very big pillar, especially when it comes to changing lives and communities in Uganda and also globally. And thank you, Engineer Kazaga Usman, for making time to come through. Usman is the Deputy Vice Chancellor, Academic Affairs, coming from Unable to get Tojabili and Kilinju joining us on this edition. But we thank Dr. for making time for all of us, and to you, our listener, who has been part of us from the time we started until the end of this program. The repeat of this program is tomorrow, Sunday, from 3 to 5 p.m. You can make time to also listen to it on UBC Radio 98.0 FM. We've been this global relevance, and we say that we are going to be looking at this celebrated in few years to come, based on what the doctor has assured us. He has said that the future is still bright according to what he sees in our education system. Every concerned partner and every concerned stakeholder, you have a right to make sure that we develop together as a people of Uganda. Until next time, same station, same program. More programs are coming your way on UBC Butebo, on UBC West Nile, on UBC Radio, on UBC Magic, and on Voice of Bonbojo. Until next time, same station, same program. For God and my country, Ampaire, Amon, Buteega, allow me to sign out.
That was Ground Zero Season 2, a production of Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC, inspiring Uganda. It's hot.
We passed it. We didn't know exactly what the problem was on the ground. There is no pretending about the effect of this thing. There's no pretending about it. Nobody showed. It's a problem.
It's balanced.
This is not the stage at which you start planning to tax a commodity like coffee, especially from down there.
It's intellectually engaging.
The Constitution provides that the land must be registered under the customary tenure system, which is one of those that's recognized by the Constitution.
Ground Zero, live and syndicated on your public and national broadcaster, UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Poverty in your life is just about to die. The Parish Development Model, PDM, is here to transform your life.
Now me, Malize, a villager with one goat. How can I even benefit from this so-called PDM?
Malize, but what you need to know, everyone who earns below 1 million shilling per year like you can benefit from PDM.
Tell me.